With the 11th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the My Chicago Bears select Justin Fields, quarterback, Ohio State.
I'm hopeful, yes I am hopeful for today. Take this music and use it, let it take you away. And be hopeful, hopeful, and he'll make a way, I know.
Many months later.
Man, how did we get here? How did Justin Fields go from being heralded as the savior of a franchise to now some of the fans of that very same franchise go so far as to label him a bust after 1 year? Well, unfortunately, that can be the trade-off of being a top pick quarterback. With all the love and adoration come expectations, and whether they're fair or not, if the fans and media do not feel like those expectations are being met, they'll be quick to turn on you. But in the case of Justin Fields, is it really his fault the expectations aren't being met? Or are there other forces at play that prevent him from getting there? Well, in order to answer those questions, we first need to go back. Born in Kennesaw, Georgia, and later attending Kennesaw High School, Justin Fields was a standout quarterback who became a 5-star recruit. He was ranked the #1 overall recruit in the country according to ESPN, and was the #1 rated dual-threat quarterback in the entire nation. In his 2 years as a starter in high school, Fields threw for 41 touchdowns and rushed for 28 more. On top of that, prior to his senior year, he was invited to the prestigious Elite 11 quarterback competition, where he won MVP over future #1 overall pick Trevor Lawrence. So for college, Fields decided to stay local and would commit to the University of Georgia.
I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. I'm not fucking leaving!
Once he got to Georgia, Justin did play some as a true freshman, but was ultimately the backup to quarterback Jake Fromm. That year, Justin did play in 12 games, and in those 12 games, he threw for 4 touchdowns and ran for 4 more. After that season, though, Justin decided he would transfer to The Ohio State in an attempt to get more playing time and really showcase his skill set. And to be blunt, he did just that. In 2019, Justin Fields led the Ohio State Buckeyes to a 13-1 record and a spot in the college football playoffs, where they ended up losing the semifinals, but Justin had, by all accounts, a phenomenal year. That year, Justin finished third in the Heisman Trophy voting by putting up 41 passing touchdowns, which was the third most in the country, and rushing for 10 more, which was 6th amongst quarterbacks. He also completed 67% of his passes and only had 3 interceptions, which was the fewest by any quarterback who had thrown 30 touchdowns or more that season.
Oh, it's good.
The following season, one that was shortened due to COVID, in just 8 games, Justin threw for 22 touchdowns and ran for an additional 5, and now stepped up his accuracy by completing 70% of his passes. Justin led the Ohio State Buckeyes to the national championship game, where they fell short to Alabama, which, was no shocker, but his entire career at Ohio State was great. So, after that year, Justin declared for the NFL Draft and was taken 11th overall by the Chicago Bears. The Bears had traded with the New York Giants from their 20th spot up to the 11th spot by giving New York their 5th round pick and their 1st and 4th round picks the following year. The Bears obviously saw something in Justin and decided to go all in and make him their starting quarterback and hopefully the savior of their franchise. Remember this for later. So now it's Justin's rookie year, and it's at this point where things get a bit more challenging than they have been in the past.
Shit went bad real quick.
Just like at the University of Georgia, when Justin got to the NFL, he started off as a backup behind veteran Andy Dalton. However, after 2 games, Justin was elevated to the starter and started in his first game against the Cleveland Browns. But unfortunately, it didn't go well. Justin played less than stellar, and they lost 26-6. And that was really more or less the story of Justin Fields' rookie year. There were games where he played really well, and there were games where he struggled, like in the Cleveland game. But in the 10 games he was a starter, he missed a few games due to injury. He threw for 7 touchdowns and had 9 interceptions, but he did have 1 rushing touchdown. But the 2 most shocking stats are that he only threw the ball roughly 15 times per game as a starting quarterback in the NFL, and he was sacked a mind-boggling 34 times in just 10 games. So you're the Chicago Bears. You traded up to get a guy in hopes he would be your franchise quarterback, and he shows flashes of greatness, but ultimately he struggles his rookie year. He had a less than stellar receiving core. Granted, Darnell Mooney's a good receiver, but overall he has no great receivers. And he got sacked an average of 3.4 times per game and had the highest sack percentage of any quarterback in the league. So it sounds like the logical move this offseason will be to draft or sign offensive linemen and receivers who can help my young quarterback thrive. And that would be the most logical thing to do. But you're the Chicago Bears, and logical decisions are not what you make. The Bears instead decided to use their 2 draft picks the following year to draft a corner and a safety. And, get ready, in the offseason, they decided to pick up 1 offensive lineman in free agency. And literally everything else was defense. And herein lies my biggest issue with the Chicago Bears as an organization. Look, I understand that they're a cornerstone franchise and they've been around forever, and defense has been their calling card for success. I mean, the 2 seasons where they reached the most success, where they went to the Super Bowl, was in 1985, where they had arguably the greatest defense of all time, and in 2006, led by Brian Urlacher, where they had the 3rd best defense in the entire league. But this isn't 1985 or 2006. It's 2022. And in 2022, you win in the NFL with elite quarterback play, coupled with players that either assist or enhance your quarterback's abilities. And this is the key area where the Bears have let Justin Fields down. You traded up to get him in hopes he'd be your savior, and then he struggles. And as a response to that, you don't prioritize building around him to put him in a place to succeed. And I say this is specifically where the Bears failed Justin Fields, because when you look around the entire league, other successful franchises don't do this. In 2019, after Mahomes lit the league on fire playing the way he did, the Chiefs made it a priority the following year to make their first draft pick a receiver. The same thing for the Buffalo Bills when they saw Josh Allen was good. In the second round, they went and got an offensive lineman. In 2021, after Justin Herbert had his great rookie season, the Chargers drafted a offensive lineman in the first round and a receiver in the 3rd round. Then look at the Bengals. After Joe Burrow, after his rookie season, their first pick was a wide receiver, their second pick was a guard. You see the pattern. Great teams tend to help their quarterbacks out. They understand what they have that position, they value that position, and they go around and build around the quarterback. But Chicago has yet to do this with Justin Fields. And so far in this 2022 season, things have been somewhat the same as they were last year. Plenty of ups, and also quite a few downs for Fields in terms of his quarterback play. Although, some of the things that he struggled with last year, he seems to have improved on and is showing more flashes of greatness at a higher clip. One of the knocks on Fields after his rookie year was that he struggled against the blitz and had poor pocket awareness. But in watching him this year, there seems to be a calm and a poise about Fields in the face of the blitz, to which he shows that he's worked on that perceived deficiency. Now, some of that may be him just coming to terms with the idea that his line is not very good, and he's going to have to hang in there and deliver anyway. But when you look at the poise in which he throws with, it shows there's been a maturity to his game, and that the game is slowing down to him and he's figuring it out. The other weakness that was talked about with Justin was that he was slow to go through his reads. And while at times this can be true, for the most part, he's kind of put that to rest as he goes through his reads well, finds the open receiver, and delivers the ball on time and on target. But beyond his weaknesses, there are some things that Justin did last year that he continues to do well and even better this season. One thing I like about Fields' game is how well he throws the deep ball. Fields has a cannon for an arm and is great at hitting targets down the field with Archer-like accuracy. Another strength that Fields displays is his running ability. This is something that I like to see the Bears have finally started letting Justin do more. His elusiveness, coupled with his speed in open space, makes him a level 5 threat as a runner, in the same category as a Lamar Jackson or a Kyler Murray. I'm a big believer on maximizing a player's abilities, and if your quarterback has the ability to make plays with his legs, let him make plays with his legs. And as a result of him being such an excellent runner, Justin throws very well on the run and is a top-level play extender by constantly moving, evading pressure, and finding targets deep down the field, which we just discussed he does very well. See how it's all coming together? Now, there are times, quite a few too many, where Justin will lob passes to receivers and he'll overthrow them and he'll underthrow them. And his accuracy could be a little bit better, especially when it's not down the field. Now, the Bears try to nix this issue by having his receivers run a bunch of crossing routes, and he'll try to hit it where he doesn't have to throw the ball down the field and hit his receivers in stride that way. But the issue with that is they can lead to a lot of interceptions as you're going across the field, which they do, but that's something that Justin will continue to get better at. So what do I think about Justin Fields? We've gone over his entire football career from the time he was in high school to now where he is currently in the NFL, in an attempt to find out whether it's him or if there are other forces at play that are preventing him from reaching the expectations that were put on him when he was drafted. And through this video, I think it's been made pretty clear that the Bears organization is at fault for not adequately surrounding Justin with the talent needed to build around him. But beyond that, what do I think about Justin as a player? Well, through detailing the skill sets that he has through this video, and if he were to be put into a better situation, better than what Chicago has provided him, I see Justin as a Pro Bowl level quarterback, who could even go so far as to mess around and make an All-Pro team maybe once or twice as in a career. Justin has a ton of talent, and I really would like to see him put into a situation where he could thrive and become a Pro Bowl level quarterback. Now, that may be with Chicago if they decide to get it together, or it may be elsewhere. I don't know, but I do know this. Justin Fields has a lot of good football ahead of him. Until next time, y'all know the deal. Like, subscribe, share, comment. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.
Why?